So this is one of those chapters where, first of all, the ending and next week's chapter kind of determines how I overall will feel in retrospect about this week's chapter because of the ending, and also to talk real quickly about the first 8 or so pages, depending on what translation you're reading or whatever. First 8 or so pages of this chapter, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Hero, are you trying to give me some story or a boner? Because it was just straight up fan service, tits, cat ears, bathing, like it was just straight up fan service. And I was thinking like, this is gonna be one of those chapters where I'm like, Hero, really you're fucking playing games with me right now, bro? But then it quickly turned into something really interesting, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. Still doesn't excuse the fact that we had to look at just nothing but tits and ass for 8 pages, which I'm not complaining, but ultimately progressing the story and everything, yeah, that doesn't really, do anything for it. And that's when Miss Brandish was like Layla's daughter and went ballistic. There's a couple things you could take from her. First of all, she knew Layla, based on the way she said this, after Lucy's birth, because she was like, as if she already knew that Layla had a daughter. And I don't remember exactly when it was that Layla disappeared, but I believe it was sometime after Lucy was like a little kid or whatever. So it was 7 years ago, I think, as a matter of fact, when she disappeared. So it would have to be, Lucy was what, I want to say about 8 or 9 years old, something like that, 10, whatever. She was somewhere around that age. So she knew at the very least about Lucy's existence, and the way she had a face, and she was like, it's a long and irritating story I don't want to talk about. At some given point, you got to wonder, was she actually an Alvarez? Did maybe when Layla disappeared, she went to Alvarez first? Maybe she's still in Alvarez? What about, who knows? I mean, crazy theory. Maybe Layla is still in Alvarez and she's actually evil. Maybe she's Zarev's queen or something like that. That would be pretty fucking freaky, I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, I've been waiting to see more mentions of Layla because it's been a while since we actually heard anything. And to be honest with you, I don't see Layla actually entering the manga like in physical form until maybe towards the end. Like maybe like the last arc, I want to say Layla will return from wherever, whether she's just a magical spirit like Mavis or she's still alive. Like personally, I'm starting to think maybe she could still be alive. When she disappeared, is that she went into hiding or something happened to her, but she's still going to be around. And I think I could see a reunion with Lucy and her at the end, and her asking like, oh, so how's your father? But either way, there's some huge connection with Miss Brandish, and if Miss Brandish is from the Alvarez and there's no mentions of her ever being in Magnolia or, our place, then you can ultimately assume that Layla at the very least spent some time in Alvarez or left our place and disappeared to go to Alvarez. And the fact that she has a grudge against Layla, you can assume possibly as well, at some given point, she left Alvarez for somewhere else, and ultimately she's not even in either kingdom at this point. Maybe she did something that really pissed off Miss Brandish. Maybe she took her man. Maybe she didn't want to get in the fucking bathtub with her. Who knows? We got an entrance of Kana yet again, looking sexy as ever. I ain't gonna lie, she looking mighty pretty. So we got the return of the Tenrojima tag team with Lucy and Kana. Cool shit. Lucy looking like a beast with that transformation, the Aries transformation. So this chapter kind of like, it was back and forth. I mean, we got some progression. Natsu and Gajeel took out the crusties, the scrubs, or whatever, the lower levels, and Natsu still being Natsu sounds dumb as shit when like he's trying to one up Gajeel. Gajeel's like, I only use 1/100th of my power, and Natsu's like, yeah, I only use 1/10. You dumbass, that's more power used. Like, you're an idiot. But one of the other problematic parts of the chapter, which the beginning 8 pages of fan service, whatever, it led into something really interesting with the whole Layla Heartfilia stuff. But at the end of the chapter, if Erza one-shotted Gajeel after he was hyped up, then yet again, like, this chapter will be next week, depending on what happened. It'll be about like a 3 or 4 because it's bullshit or whatever, because we already had 8 pages of fan service, and then a one-shot at that. The Layla revelation, the connection with Miss Brandish doesn't make up for that, nor the setup for Lucy versus Miss Brandish, or Lucy and Kana versus Miss Brandish will not make up for the fact that we had 8 pages of fan service and then a one-shot at the end of the chapter. So this chapter right now, I'm in the middle with it. I want to say, as of right now, it's between a 7 to a 7.5. It's somewhere around there. If next week we find out that Jill is completely done, he was defeated by Erza with 1 shot, chapter was like a 3 or 4, because that's bullshit, because we already had 8 pages of fan service. Like, the fan service led to something, but then we got a one-shot at the end of the chapter, so I'm kind of there right now with this chapter. I loved the Layla reference yet again, bringing her back into the story or whatever, but please don't be one-shotted, because this is supposed to be the Alvarez Empire. These are supposed to be the 12 Spriggans. They're supposed to be epic. If Erza fucking defeated him, then this chapter was bullshit. So don't be bullshit. Next week, I better see Gajeel get back up, dust the sand off of him, and, fight again. Let me know what you guys think. First of all, big question. Is Gajeel down for the count? Was he one-shotted? If so, I mean, how do you feel about it? Personally, I think it's bullshit if he is. If he isn't, then good shit. And overall, this chapter was a good chapter. Also, the fan service, did it annoy you? I think the fact that it worked into something really, really interesting is why I'm more forgiving of the fan service. I mean, again, it's not that like, oh, I don't want to see tits and ass. I don't give a fuck. Fine, fuck it. Show me some tits and ass. Why not? But it's not progressive to the story. But it led into something progressive to the story. So I'm forgiving of that aspect. The one shot though, we also got progression with Natsu and Gajeel getting rid of the crusty. So that's some good stuff right there. So it's kind of like just I'm really in the middle with this chapter because there was so many different things. I was like, this was good, this was kind of this was good, this is maybe depending on next week. And your overall thoughts of the chapter. That Layla Heartfilia shit got me excited, I'm not gonna lie. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm Finette World, and as always, people, have an awesome day.